But I'm curious because you started off like with marketing and such, and you were doing corporate things for a little bit, and you
Yeah.
were at some point you switched over and you said, okay, I want to be able to, apply my skills in other ways. Do you think it wouldn't have been possible to make a difference in some ways if you had stayed in marketing? Are there some kind of jobs that you think, it's impossible to make a good impact in? Or do you have to work in those kind of nonprofit sectors to be able to have the impact that you want?
Yeah, this is a really good question. I think first, no, I don't think you need to have a specific profile of the company that or the place that you're working on in order to make an impact. However, there is also certain things or certain, I would say, characteristic of the place that would make it easier for you to make an impact. And my theory behind this, if you are in a place that is drawing your energy from your goal of making a specific impact, then probably it's better to focus your energy in another place that can provide you the opportunity in a better way. In my life, I don't believe the non-profit sector, for example, is the only way to make an impact because I mean, what we are working on now, like we're kind of a CIC, we're not making a profit, but we're also been a limited company for some time in a time. And I have seen, for example, how lovely and how people actually there made a huge impact by driving in a fair way, like the talent, like driving in a fair way, getting diverse talent and empower them to work in the non-profit sector in the UK. It's actually impacted the way that I think that you don't need to be a head of a large non-profit in order to make an impact on people. You could be commercial, you could be not. You just need to put that in the center of what you're working on. But if you realize that the corporate that you're working on is kind of like driving you away from what you really want it to be, then I don't think this is the best way for you to proceed. I have been offered really good opportunities, like really good opportunities to make good amount of money. But I was also studying these opportunities in a deep way that what does it actually translate into the reality? And in fact, I've realized it's gonna translate something into completely opposite of what I am looking for. Then my way for that was turn it down instead of free thinking a lot about it. Because I mean, you could argue that if I am working in a large place and a good place and making lots of money, I can donate this money to people on the board, right? You could argue that. However, if you're smart enough to come up with this conclusion, you could argue that you could also make an impact with your work, little work, and be less of a tool for people to use it for their own purposes. The least thing I wanted in this life is to be making those who is really rich to be richer, to be honest. This is the least thing I want to. Even if that means I would take a lot of money and donate it, that's the least thing. No, I really wanted to
I
do. There is
know.
could be a more powerful things.